Hello viewers, Liquid128 here, reviewing a new puzzle indie, King Oddball for the Nintendo Switch. In the interest of disclosure, I am making it known that this review was made possible by the publisher 10 Tons, who granted us a review copy. Now, without further ado, let's crack this oddball open and see what's inside. Story? What story? This game has no story. Literally. You're the titular King Oddball, a floating alien head thing that swings objects like rocks, diamonds, and grenades to destroy everything on screen for some reason. I guess floating King Oddball things are jerks? Who knows? It's probably not important. King Oddball is a physics-based puzzle game. As described in the quote-unquote plot summary, the object of the game is to destroy every enemy on screen, move on to the next level, rinse and repeat. Extremely simple to get into. What's not as simple are the physics. Yes, there's an obvious comparison to be made with Angry Birds, in that it's a physics-based throw an object and topple enemies game. However, the physics in King Oddball are deliberately nowhere near as precise as Angry Birds, given that the titular Oddball swings rocks like a pendulum. There are two neat draws to this system. Firstly, if you throw a rock and it rebounds towards you enough so that it touches you, you get to use that same rock again. This is useful for completing levels where conserving your rocks is of the utmost essence. In the same vein, if you kill several enemies with a single rock throw, you likewise get an extra rock. These two tactics come into play in later levels. Sometimes you're given less than 4 rocks to complete a level, and if you're skilled enough to rebound a rock towards you or kill several enemies in the same throw, you could be gifted an extra rock that can help you complete levels. It's an interesting way to reward strategy. The physics notwithstanding, King Oddball is very much an Angry Birds clone. That said, some levels can be a bit harder than your standard Angry Birds fare due to the physics, but it's nothing that can't be beaten on repeat attempts, since the game does load and restart levels about as fast as your average Angry Birds game. It goes without saying that King Oddball is a very simple looking game. It has a neat grainy aesthetic, but otherwise there's nothing particularly noteworthy to say either since it runs well at 60 frames per second. With only a handful of tracks, however, the music gets repetitive quite quickly. Generic ambience would almost be preferable, which the game actually does have for its specific Halloween levels. Granted, it's not too bad since levels can be rather short, and the melodies themselves are actually sorta catchy, but when you're replaying a level 5 to 10 times because you're stuck, there's only so much one can take before running for a music player. There's little to really add about King Oddball. It's very easy to pick up and play, it has a rather decent amount of content with 160 plus levels, including secrets, and it also has a good enough amount of challenge so as to not be mindless. The game's also super cheap, so while it's not the first thing you would probably buy with $5 or your regional equivalent on the eShop, it's not a hefty investment either. An okay time sink, in short, just like Angry Birds. And with all that said, I'm giving King Oddball on the Nintendo Switch a 3.5 out of 5. Let us know what you think of this game if you buy it below. Make sure to like the video if you want to see more, and subscribe to Source Gaming for more news and reviews straight from the source. I am Liquid128, signing off.